I stood in a cut across the street and watched the line, waiting for it to shorten. Just like I knew it would, this fight had attracted a huge crowd. There was no doubt it would probably be only standing room in that place tonight. When the line had gotten down to the last few people, I made my move, swiftly crossing the street. However, I came up short at the sight of an old man dressed in African garb sitting at a little table at the door. On the table was a little metal box, the money box. I walked closer, trying not to appear to be studying it the way that I was. You see, I had a plan. Tonight, I was going to do something that I rarely did, and that was take a cut off what I took tonight. Dollar Bill would probably be so happy to get his magic staff that he wouldn't notice a few $100s missing from the cash. I'm going to use it to get me and Lovely out of town. But first, I had to get through this. When the old man saw me, he came to his feet, smiling at me warmly. The kindness of his smile made me feel uncomfortable. It almost felt as if he recognized me. I pulled my black ball cap low over my head to cover my eyes. "Welcome, Bott," he said. "I've been waiting for you." Huh? I blinked at him, confused, as I took several things in all at once. He spoke with an island accent, Jamaican, maybe even Trinidad, and he was clearly senile, because I had never met him a day in my life. I shook my head. It couldn't be that good for business to have a person suffering from this disease manning the door. I smiled at him and asked softly, "How much is the ticket?" Instantly feeling bad that somebody so kind could suffer from such a horrible disease. "For you," he said, "no charge." He put his hands on his chest as if he was a medieval knight, instead of this old islander that wore his hair wrapped in some kind of, maybe, turban. I read a book once that said Rastas wore their hair wrapped when they were in America because their dreads were pure and they didn't want them loose in the belly of the beast. I wondered if he was a Rasta. Judging by his clothes, he probably was. Except he wore those strings hanging from his shirt. The same strings I had saw hanging from Lion's shirt. Is that something that Rastas did? Is Lion a Rasta? "Aren't you sweet?" I said to him. "But I insist on paying." I did miss the irony of my statement, considering I planned on taking the whole metal box tonight. "Okay, if you insist, then give me $5. He smiled and made me feel like complete trash on the inside. "You have a deal," I said, and I handed him the money and took the ticket. "Enjoy the fight," he called after me. "I sure will," and he smirked when he said that, making me feel uncomfortable again. He was talking about the fight going on inside the gym, right? Wasn't he? I quickly made my way in and breathed a sigh of relief when I didn't suddenly feel sick or didn't catch on fire or the walls didn't crumble in on me. Man, I was coming unhinged. I had to get this done so that I can get out. The lights dimmed as I made my way in. This was the perfect time. The fight was just starting. That means the bathrooms wouldn't be crowded. I was counting on this. Thanks to my all-black attire, I would be nothing but a shadow in the dark gym. This was perfect, because I could make my way in and out without fear of running into the big guy. So let's get it done, Butta, so that we can get out of here. I wanted to make this as quick as possible. Holding my head down, I made my way quickly through the crowd to the women's restroom, and I was pleased to see, just as I thought, that the restroom was fairly empty, except one of the stalls that looked like it was in use. I eased my backpack down by the window so that I won't rumble my tools in it. Then I reached up and quickly unlocked the window, and was just in time too, because two women walked into the bathroom and began to fix their makeup. I pretended to do the same thing, but judging by these girls' attire, they were here to go fishing. I doubted real seriously they was interested in the fight. I wondered who they were fishing for. I didn't have long to wait because the one closest to me began to speak. I didn't even see him out there. Oh, he better show up, 'cause I didn't wear this dress for nothing. And what a dress, or should I say lack of one, she wore. It was bright orange, and what I was sure was plastic, and it fit her like skin. Child, please. Now you know Lion be into classy chicks like me, her friend said. Ah, so they was here fishing for Lion, the big fish. I looked at her friend. Did she say classy? Well, I guess compared to the girl in the orange dress, she was a little more modestly dressed in her Afrocentric garb, but she still didn't leave much to the imagination. He gonna take one look at me, she continued, and he gonna want to make me his baby mama. Oh my goodness. What is wrong with my people? Right when I thought I had heard and seen it all, something like this happened to prove I ain't really seen nothing. I wanted to ask them why they would dress themselves in these uncomfortable, tight, too short clothes, them crazy ankle-killing heels, just to try to get a man. I don't understand the way my sisters think. They know, just like everybody else, that no man is going to take them seriously in such a get-up. But not only that, he probably is going to treat them like a piece of trash. And surely nobody willingly suffers the tortures of these clothes just to be treated like a piece of trash. I mean, do they stand in the mirror as they get dressed and think, yeah, I look like a super slut. He's going to respect me and value my opinion. I shook my head at them as they walked out. Sometimes I just really didn't understand my sisters. Anyway, back to work. The person who was in the stall was still there, so I had a short time to get this done. Gently, I raised the window, just enough for me to reach the lock on the bars. I took my bolt cutters out of my backpack. Quickly, but not easily, I got the lock cut. It took all my strength, and then some. There was one thing about these locks, they were super hard to cut. When I was finished, I quickly slid the window down, making sure to leave it unlocked. Slipped my bolt cutters back in my backpack. Now all I had to do was wait. I made my way through the crowd as I passed Mrs. Orange and Dress and Mrs. Baby Mama, and they were both straining their necks like peacocks, looking for Lion. When I looked around, I saw a lot of women dressed the same way, doing the same thing with this outstretched necks. I shook my head, wondering if they were looking for Lion too. I was fascinated at the way my people's minds worked, and as much as I would like to stay and see just how one of these women hunted a lion, I didn't want to risk being seen. So I made my way to the front door, relieved to see the old man had gone and another took his place. I slipped past him and out the door. I decided to wait back up on the roof across the street so that I could have a good view on the comings and goings. I'll admit to being a little more than curious to see if one of those girls would actually snag Lion. And if I was completely honest with myself, I probably was a little jealous of the thought of him looking at them the way he had looked at me yesterday. But that's neither here nor there. I pulled an apple out of my pocket and my new book, The Damage of Bad Parenting, and I sat back to wait. 7 hours later, I was sure the last person had left the building. I had expected to see Lion locking up the front door, but instead, there was another man, the same one that was with him the night before, and another man that looked just slightly smaller than that guy, which meant he was still very big. He wore a gray t-shirt, but I could tell that he was Diesel from where I sat. They made their way toward the only car that was left in the parking lot. I could see that the guy in the gray shirt wore dog tags, a soldier. I could have guessed that, judging by the way that he walked, his broad shoulders, how he separated his feet when he stood. After watching them drive away, I sat for just a moment calculating all that I had seen this evening. First and foremost, I didn't see Lion at all, which meant he obviously had not been here tonight. Next, I saw the old man leave, but I noticed he did not carry the metal box with him, and neither did anyone else, which means the money was still in there. I started to get excited, but at the same time, I was still very much afraid. But just the thought that my freedom was so close. All I needed was that money, and then I was free. Dollar Bill felt that the staff would be harder to find than the money. And if that was true, and it was in fact a magic staff, he was probably right. I waited another hour, giving anybody the chance that may have forgotten something to come back. When no one did, I made my way off the roof and around back to the ladies' bathroom. The window was high off the ground, but I wasn't worried. I knew how to climb, thanks to the fact that I was the world's biggest tomboy. Lovely always said she didn't know how I turned out like that, seeing as how she was a girly girl and always had been. Not me. I liked it to climb, run, shoot, car race. I'm a die-hard Bears fan. On game day, man, don't play. Lovely often teased me about the fact that I never wore dresses or carried purses, and I have absolutely never and will never wear heels. Why should I? So I can look ridiculous like Mrs. Orange and Mrs. Baby Mama in those instruments of torture? Please, forget about it. If a man didn't find my Timberland sexy, he can go suck on an egg. I hosted myself up to the ledge and eased the lock that I had cut earlier loose from the gate. Very gently, I let it swing open. Wedging my feet into the grooves of the brick wall to brace myself, I gently lifted the window, smiling when I had it opened enough for me to swing my body in to land gently on my feet in the women's bathroom. I was in. My phone vibrated on my waist 3 seconds after the silent alarm was triggered. "What you got?" I answered as I made my way to my office door. They came in through the women's restroom window. Danny Yob, my head of security, and the world's deadliest sharpshooter, said on the other line. I know that even as we speak, he now had his scope aimed at the gym from where he lived a few buildings away. And together he, me, and King, my pet, was getting ready to play who can catch and kill the fool who dared to break into my place. Pure rage woke up inside of me. I picked up a remote from off my desk and pressed a button. The wall opened, revealing 25 screens. Each of them showed a different view of the gym. I saw the invader instantly. "Got him," I growled on the phone. "Wait up. Let me take care of this. We can't risk you losing your temp." I hung up the phone. I was not interested in what Danielle had to say. I will not control my anger. Whoever dared break in my place deserved what they got. I welcomed the rage that burst into my body like bullets as I slammed out the loft door, sending it shooting through the air to land somewhere below. King shot past me, ready for the kill. However, he would not make that move unless I told him to, and I would not be giving him that order. This Vic was mine. I made quick work of the stairs leading to the second floor. I didn't even bother with the stairs that led to the first floor. I just leaped over the banister, landing in the center of the ring. Pure terror raced through my veins at the sound of a door crashing open above me. I looked up just in time to see it come flying through the air from the top floor to land just a few feet away from me. Then I heard the unmistakable sound of paws, big paws with huge sharp nails coming my way. The lion. "Oh God, help me," I prayed as I started to run back towards the bathroom. But before I could take 3 steps, I saw something that caused my legs to stop working altogether. Lion, dreads flying in back of him, falling from the air where he landed in the middle of the ring on his feet like an avenging angel. a fall that should have broken both of his legs. Instead, those legs were up in the air again as he leaped over the ropes, landing on the ground with the agility of the animal for which he was named. He charged at me with such speed that the only thing I could do was take a couple of steps back on legs that just wouldn't work at all, as my brain tried to tell me that what my eyes were seeing couldn't possibly be happening. In the blink of an eye, he was there in front of me, lifting me off the ground by my neck, cutting off my air supply. With such force, I knew I was dead. Desperately, I clawed at his hand that was killing me, but it was like trying to bend back iron. "Lion, please!" I somehow managed to gasp through my crushed throat as the room began to go black. He stiffened at the sound of my voice as his hand shot out to snatch the ball cap from my head, and watched in amazement as my long brown hair like smoke spilled from under it. "Nuria?" he asked, confused. Instantly releasing me, I slid down the wall, falling on the floor on all fours as I coughed and gagged, desperately trying to fill my burning lungs with air. My throat burnt like fire. He had almost killed me. I turned away from her, realizing what I had almost done, and fresh anger, even more so than before, shot through me. I had almost killed her. I wanted to destroy something. I picked up a 12-foot table and slammed it across the room to crash and splinter on the wall. I had almost killed Butta, baby. Balling up my fist, all I could do was roar out my anger before I sent another table flying in the direction of the wall again. How dare she break into my place? I stared at the destruction he was reaping with wide eyes. No man had this kind of strength he was displaying. And his anger, it was something fierce to behold. I was petrified. Lion was not a human. He had to be some kind of, Superman or something. I shook my head. That couldn't be it. Superman was a fictional character somebody made up. Lion is real in front of me. And his anger, he was angry more than anything I had ever seen. He turned back to me so fast, all I could do was try to withdraw from him, trying to push myself through the wall if possible. My eyes widened as he approached like the charging lion. He fisted his hand in my hair, lifting me so that I was in front of him, my body pressed up against his, my feet barely touching the ground. Tears burned the back of my eyes, not only from the pain where he gripped my hair, but also from the pure force of him. I could feel the strength and anger radiating throughout his hard body in waves. I clutched at his shirt, trying to get some relief to my skull. "What are you doing here?" he growled out, his face contorted in rage. The impact of his anger took my breath away. Stammering, I couldn't seem to find my voice. "Speak!" he barked in my face, jerking my head and causing pain to shoot down my back. I closed my eyes and swallowed. "You're hurting me." My lips quivered as I fought to hold on to the tears that felt like knives in the back of my eyes. His grip instantly loosened, although he didn't let me go. The relief to my skull almost made me moan. I breathed deeply, trying to calm my heart. It felt like it was going to explode in my chest from fear. "Why would you try to rob me?" he asked. This time his voice was much gentler than the roar from just a minute ago.